Welcome to Spokane Talks, where you find news, views, and conversation that includes respect for opinions, facts, and diversity. Spokane Talks is brought to you in part by McNeese Wheeler Attorneys, River Ridge Hardware, and Rana Paint.
Welcome to Spokane Talks, where you'll find news, views, and conversation. I'm Ryan McNeese. Thanks for joining us today. Today, Avista Corp discusses the launching of a wireless meter reading system.
This is really becoming the utility standard, and that trend is going to continue.
Then, on She Says, host Stephanie Regalado sits down with Instagram influencer Anna Senchenko of Spokane Playground to discuss the roots of her business and some of her favorite things to do in our Spokane community.
I want to make sure to showcase it and show everyone what Spokane has to offer.
And then, Real Estate Talks, Ken Sachs will sit down for a discussion on the perspective of buying and selling a home.
And how much you can get if you want to sell quicker or slower, what the
Right.
market looks like.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rana Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rana Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
I'm your host, Steve Traben, and joining me today is Vern Malensky, Avista's Smart Meter Project Manager. Welcome, Vern.
Thanks, Steve.
So let's talk first about technology. I mean, it's everywhere, it's changing all of our lives, and it's actually changing how energy is generated, delivered, and consumed. And because of that, Avista is joining other utilities across our country in deploying smart meter technology. This is technology that's helping us modernize our grid and giving our customers more information to help them manage their current and their future energy needs. It's not a new technology for the industry. For 15 years, utilities have been installing smart meters. So Avista taking this on for our customers in our Washington service area it's great timing. So with that, would you delve into the technology a little further?
Absolutely. So if you look across the United States and Europe, there's about 76 million of these deployed, I think, in the United States today, and we expect that to be upwards of 90 million by the time this project is complete. So this is really becoming the utility standard, and that trend is going to continue. And if you look at the meter and the module, it's not what's on the outside that's changing, it's what's on the inside. Yeah. They look really close. So when these meters and modules go in, your meter is going to be replaced, and the module is going to be attached to the front of your gas meter. They communicate securely back to Avista, and at our data center, this information is then presented onto the web for customers to use and used for generating your bills as well.
That's great, and obviously that's one benefit. What are the other key benefits of the smart meter technology?
So the first benefit is information at your fingertips. No longer are you going to have to wait 30 days to get your usage information for the month. You'll be able to log in every day and see your previous day's usage, and that's going to really help you understand what your usage profile is. The second is more control over your energy dollar. Now you'll be able to log into your account on myavista.com and see what your load forecast is and your bill forecast, and compare it to last month to help you understand where you're trending from a bill perspective. The third is we'll be more responsive. These meters communicate back with us securely, so we're going to know the status of these meters. If there's an outage, they tell us that, and we'll be able to then respond much quicker than we have in the past. The fourth benefit is a more personalized customer service. So if a customer calls in, historically we don't have much data to communicate with them about, but now we'll be able to really help customers by helping them understand in much more detail what's going on and why their bill is how it is. And the final benefit is we'll contribute to a more sustainable community. So just like we're providing more information to our customers to make energy conservation choices, Avista has the same ability to use this and optimize the grid.
Thanks, Vern. And when we come back, we'll tell you what you can expect when you receive your new smart meter.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler, attorneys.
Welcome back. Let's talk about what our customers can expect when they receive their smart meter. First of all, from a deployment schedule standpoint, we're installing the smart meter technology throughout 2019 and most of 2020. And for specific information about the geographical locations where we're going to be and the deployment schedule, please visit our website. Vern, why don't you talk a little bit more about the process?
Thanks, Steve. So our deployment is going to start in the Spokane Valley. We'll begin in the Northwood neighborhood and then head south to Mission. The eastern boundary is along Argonne and spans west to Division. From there, we're going to begin deploying to a larger area south in the South Hill area. You can see the boundaries on the map. And in May, we'll begin installing meters in the Pullman and Clarkston area. So we have a lot going on as we start this project. The boundaries that you're seeing aren't perfect, but at least they give you an idea of when we're going to be in your area.
Yeah, and let's talk about notification. Our customers are going to be notified 3 separate occasions via mail. We're going to notify them at 90 days in advance, again at 60 days, and then 21 days in advance of installing their smart meter so that they know when we're going to show up, what they can expect, and how they can help.
Yeah, so when we arrive to perform the work, we'll knock on the door and see if you're home. You don't have to be present when we're on site to complete the work, but you can really help by ensuring that your existing meter or gas module is free of obstructions and all your pets are secure and that we have safe access to your property. There will be a brief interruption of electric service when we exchange your meter, and when we're finished, we'll leave a door hanger and let you know how it went, that we were there, and what you should expect moving forward. Now, if you're a business customer, we'll assess your situation and make sure that we don't plan to interrupt your power. But if we do, we'll definitely coordinate with you to make sure that your business stays intact.
Great. And we have a great installation video on our website at myavista.com/smart meters, along with other online resources and frequently asked questions. And feel free to call us at our contact center if you have additional questions. We're excited about the benefits that smart meter technology are going to provide our customers, all of you. We look forward to sharing more information about our project with you. Thanks for joining me, Vern. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Spokane Talks.
Next up, Instagram influencer Anna Senchenko, Spokane Playground.
This is River Ridge Frame Shop, called Frame It Today, where we can take your art, customize it, and get it ready to hang on the wall. Here at River Ridge Hardware, 2803 West Garland.
Hi, welcome to She Says. I'm Stephanie Regalata, your host. I'm here with my guest, Anna Senchenko of Spokane Playground, otherwise known as Anna Sparkle. Anna started Spokane Playground a couple years ago.
Yes.
Tell us what Spokane Playground is.
So Spokane Playground is just my passion for the love of Spokane, all community, local, food, everything I see and do. I want to make sure to showcase it and show everyone what Spokane has to offer.
Yeah, and it started because you love taking photos of your experiences and you're very active and adventurous. And you decided instead of keeping them on your phone, this is really an idea, you just start putting them on Instagram.
So pictures start collecting and I felt like I got to show them what Spokane has to offer with everybody else.
What do you think sets your Instagram feed apart from other Instagram influencers in our area?
Quick and simple, I would say, is the best. Location, date, time, here it is. Go check it out.
Oh, I like that. And how many followers are you up to now?
I think I'm 5. I don't even know. Maybe
it's over 5?
Hitting 5 or over 5.
Right around 5? Okay. Yeah. Isn't it weird on Instagram how you have followers, but then you don't?
Yeah.
Because they send out those, I think it's like the teaser thing where they follow, a whole bunch of people follow you and they hope you follow them back and then they go back through and they unfollow.
So not real followers.
Not real followers. It's these weird things. So it's hard to know exactly the real. I mean, it's a real number.
Yeah.
Because the non-reals.
I don't really keep up with the numbers. I'm doing what I love.
Yes. That's excellent. What is one of the favorite things that a favorite adventure that you would recommend to anyone here in Spokane? I know you had a list of some of your favorite things to do in Spokane.
Yeah, if you want to get out, I'd say the Stevens Creek, also known as the Rocks of Sharon, is probably going to be my favorite area for a quick nature hike. Beautiful sunrise, sunsets there. You can also see that on my page with what I've seen multiple times there. It's beautiful. Also, the High Drive Lookout, park your car, quick and beautiful walks you can do there. A huge supporter of local coffee, and I feel like Spokane has fantastic coffee options and food options that have grown over the past
and
couple
they're popping
years.
up all over, so they're within walking distance wherever you are.
Can I have coffee like 10 times today? Just because I want it all.
Yes. And you have a few other ones. Mineral Ridge, that's one of my favorites in Coeur d'Alene.
Yes.
I think that's Fish Lake Trail, Bull and Pitcher, Mount Spokane.
Mineral Ridge, if you have not gone there.
Oh, now's the time.
Well, now, if there's snow, just probably those spiky shoes or a stick. But it's so beautiful there. Like, that's a must. And it's quick. It's 3 miles up, 3 miles down, I believe. Very, very beautiful and easy.
And you can catch the end of January and into February still seeing the eagles, correct?
Yes. And I feel like you can show up and bring your binoculars.
And there's like eagles everywhere in the trees. Okay, we're going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Anna.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
Welcome back to She Says. I'm Stephanie Regalato with Anna Sinchenko of Spokane Playground. Spokane Playground is not your full-time gig. As dreamy as that sounds of a gig to have. Yes.
It's more fun for me to explore. I do have a full-time job, family, and this is just our side fun.
And recently you switched into a job working at the
Riverside Place downtown, so event coordinator there now.
And that's in the old Masonic?
Yes, it is, the old Masonic building.
So you will be, how fun is that job?
It is fun.
Is it starting? Because you're only in it just for a little bit so far?
Yeah, so going on 2 months. Before that, I was selling health insurance for 4 years.
Which is important too.
Yes.
Maybe not as fun.
Wasn't growing, so I'm like, this opportunity popped up, and I feel like it fits my shoes better, so I'm enjoying it.
I think that's a perfect fit for you. You're married.
Yes.
You have 2 kiddos.
Yes.
A son and a daughter.
Yes.
And they're 9 and 11.
9 and 11, yes.
And you guys are active. Are you ever just at home, not doing anything?
Very rarely. So everyone's like, how do you have time to breathe and sleep? And I feel like there's so much I want to do and see on my free time. So if I'm off work, I'm everywhere doing everything. And it's just because I enjoy it. I don't want to sit home, even though I have to force myself, but I want to see everything that Spokane has to offer.
And your family's just 100%?
Yes, they're in.
Load in, and we're on.
Sometimes like, Mom, I'm tired today. I'm like, let's go do this. I'll buy you a hot chocolate.
That sounds so fun. How do you come up with your ideas? Do you ever feel like you hit a bare spot? Or you're not sure what to do next?
If I don't know what to do next, I go to event page on Facebook, and I'm like, what's there
that's
to
so
do
smart.
today? I do that often, especially on the weekends. I'll go events today, and I'll let you know a list of events you can attend that day in town. So if I don't know, surprisingly, I'll go ahead and events, and that way what I'm doing, it is supporting somebody else locally. I can show up to that.
Absolutely, because then you share that experience with your followers as well. How does it feel to have become an influencer?
I wasn't planning on it, but I'm loving it, and I just love supporting everything local, being a part of meeting others locally, and growing together.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for the work that you do. Check Anna out on Spokane Playground and plug into this amazing community that we have. Thanks so much for tuning in to She Says.
Next up on Real Estate Talks, Ken Sachs sits down and discusses the perspectives on buying and selling a home.
This is River Ridge Frame Shop, called Frame It Today, where we can take your art, customize it, and get it ready to hang on the wall. here at River Ridge Hardware, 2803 West Garland.
The following is sponsored by our friends and community supporters at McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. McNeese Wheeler is a boutique law firm in Spokane, handling matters in both Washington and Idaho. Areas of law include business law, wills, trusts and estates, family law, personal injury and wrongful death, and real estate matters. For your full-service legal needs, contact McNeese Wheeler Attorneys.
Hi folks, welcome to Real Estate Talk. I'm your host Ken Sachs. My guest, we are calling my guest Ann for this show. And so we're going to talk about, Ann has recently sold a house and then she recently purchased a house. And so we thought it would be fun to talk about some of the things that you may want to know if you find yourself getting ready to either sell or buy. So first, as a seller, let's talk about, I'm getting ready to sell my house. How do I go about picking a realtor?
It's very important to have somebody who has been doing it for a while,
Sure.
has some transactions under their belt, somebody who knows the changes in the contract, somebody who knows the market, because you're going to get advice from every person you meet. They want to tell you how much you should ask for and how you should be doing it.
Yes, you will. And we've talked about this where when you enter the market, either as a buyer or seller, once your friends and family members who love you, they want you to be okay, and they're trying to help you, their motivation is okay, they start giving you advice. But usually they don't really know what they're talking about, or their advice is based on their last experience, which may have been in a completely different market than we're in now.
Yes.
So it's bad advice.
Yes.
And then when you're getting different advice, you become paralyzed and it's hard to do anything.
Well, nobody wants to lose money or time. Everybody wants to make the best choice they can.
Right.
So you're trying to listen to the people who love you, and you know they love you, and they don't always know what they're talking about.
Right. And so something I always say, viewers, is don't react. Simply write that stuff down. And then when you meet with your realtor or speak with your realtor once a week or whatever, go through your list. Okay, here's what so-and-so said. Here's what so-and-so said. Ken, explain that to me.
Yeah.
And then that way you don't become paralyzed, and then you start to understand what's good information, what's bad information. So as far as choosing a realtor, it's also important to understand what your motivation as a seller is.
Yes. It's important to know your timeline and how much you can get if you want to sell quicker, slower, what the market looks like, and only a realtor who's well-versed in what's going on is going to be able to help you with that.
That's right. And then where are you going when you sell? And then how quickly does that have to happen?
Yep.
Because that will all help determine your motivation as a seller.
Yes.
And that motivation, there's always a price range.
Yes.
And so in that range, am I really motivated so the price is a little less, or I'm not really that motivated? It doesn't matter if I sell it or not. We start to see higher prices. But it's important to understand and to discuss that motivation with your real estate professional.
Absolutely.
So, folks, you're listening to Real Estate Talk. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk about being a buyer next. Stay with us. Hi, folks. Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm your host, Ken Sachs. We are here with our guest, Ann. We're calling her Ann for this show. We've talked about, first, what it's like to sell, what a seller should know, maybe what I would do over as a seller, because Ann just recently sold and recently bought. And so now we're going to talk about, I'm now a buyer. What's the biggest thing a buyer should know? And we're going to talk about educating yourself as a buyer. What did you do?
I think the natural thing to do when you first start to want to buy a house is to look at the websites. All the emails you get, the spam and the Zillow and Trulia and all those good things, which shows all those homes, and a lot of it's not accurate.
Right.
So educating yourself, knowing what to look at which site, letting your realtor help you as far as a better website. And
Okay.
HomeSnap was the one that I really focused on as far as accurate information, because that's super important when the timeline is a big deal for you.
Yes.
Knowing what's out there, how quickly it's selling, what it's selling for with that speed, and knowing what is actually on the market as opposed to what might have been on the market a month or two ago.
Right. So you said HomeSnap. So
Yes.
your recommendation would be HomeSnap
Yes.
to find out what is actually on the market, what they're selling for.
Mm-hmm.
And the value in that is then when you become a buyer and we're getting ready to write an offer, you already have a pretty good understanding of what that offer should look like.
Yeah.
And again, during this taping, this is a seller's market. So not the type of market where you're going to offer way under price. It's a seller's market. So it's very important to understand that.
Yes.
So that you win and you get the house. So your way of educating was going through websites and you found what was good for whatever information it was you were looking for.
Yes.
And you went to a couple different sites. You talked about crime stats. What would be a
Yes.
good site for that?
Trulia was great for the crime statistics. You could see a grid of the area that you're looking at and where the crime was good or crime was higher or lower depending on your location, how close do you want to be to that location.
Good.
So I would get my information off of HomeSnap and then check it against Trulia for the crime in that area.
Great. So we're talking about websites, understanding what it is you're getting ready to buy, what the market's like. Folks, you've been listening to Real Estate Talk with your host, Ken Sachs, and thanks for listening.
Cindy Hval is a freelance columnist and correspondent for the Spokesman Review and author of War Bonds, Love Stories from the Greatest Generation. The view from her porch is usually sunny.
I'm not sure how teaching my sons to drive ended up on my list of parental responsibilities, but I felt that way about potty training and shoe tying too, and, well, here we are. It's been several years since son number 3 slid behind the wheel of the family minivan, but the memories are still vivid. We picked up his learner's permit and Zachary said, "Can I drive home?" The fact that he'd never actually operated a motor vehicle didn't faze him. His confidence stemmed from the fact that he is the family's current undisputed Mario Kart racing champ. "You can drive from the end of the block to our driveway," I said, and pulled over to change seats with him. Teaching someone to drive is challenging because so many of the important details become second nature and you fail to notice them anymore, like keeping your foot on the brake when you put the car into drive. "Stop!" I yelled. Well, Zach says I yelled. I think I just spoke loudly in a firm voice. But Zachary is a sensitive soul, and when I said emphatic things like, "Hit the brakes, not the gas, are you trying to kill us?" it hurt his feelings, and he took it personally. "Mom, you are crushing my soul," he said. But we made it home without causing too much carnage and mayhem, and I hoped the damage to Zach's psyche was as negligible. It must have been because the next day he was ready to go again. I, meanwhile, was busy plucking out newly sprouted gray hairs. But I drove him to a neighborhood shopping center where I'd taken his older brothers, and he slowly navigated the parking lot with care. Soon he was ready to practice parking. He found an empty spot and perfectly pulled in between the yellow painted lines. "Wow," I said, "that was fantastic. You did a great job." He beamed. "And you know what the best part is?" "What?" I asked. "On Monday, I get to tell my driver's ed teacher I drove my mama to the liquor store." Teenagers, driving parents to drink since time began. And that's the view from my front porch.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Spokane Talks. If you'd like additional information and additional segments, check us out on SpokaneTalksMedia.com. See you next time.
Spokane Talks is about you. Give us your feedback and comments at info@SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Spokane Talks is brought to you in part by McNeese Wheeler Attorneys. River Ridge Hardware, and Rada Paint. We'll be back next week with additional news, views, and conversations. Please join us. So long for now.